You ever feel like you're just trying to drink from a fire hose of information?
Yeah, totally.
Or like there's this whole world of knowledge that feels, I don't know, just out of reach?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where we come in. This is the deep dive, your shortcut to understanding what really matters.
And today, we're looking at something pretty remarkable happening over in Karnataka.
That's right. We're diving into how an organization called Ashapath,
Right.
working hand in hand with the Karnataka State Unorganized Women Council, is using this fascinating piece of tech called Dr. Maya GPT.
Yeah, Dr. Maya GPT. And it's being used to empower individuals who currently can't read or write in Canada.
And when we say empower, it's really more than just basic literacy, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about a real tangible shift in people's lives. Gaining strength, a real sense of self-worth.
Dignity?
Exactly, dignity. And crucially, the ability to truly communicate their own experiences.
Just try to imagine for a second, not being able to read something as simple as a street sign or properly express yourself in writing.
It's hard to fully grasp, and the impact of illiteracy, it goes far beyond just those practical daily challenges.
Right.
Our sources, they really highlight the psychological barriers, too. Feelings of inadequacy, low confidence, even social isolation. These become really significant beat-ins for people.
And access to basic information opportunities. It all becomes incredibly limited.
Hugely limited.
Things we just take for granted, like reading instructions on a medicine bottle or filling out a simple form, suddenly that's a massive obstacle.
Precisely. And as you mentioned, expressing deeply personal things, maybe pain or suffering, that becomes incredibly difficult.
Leading to dependence on others for even basic stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Which naturally affects that sense of strength and dignity we're focusing on.
Which is why this collaboration we're discussing today is, well, it feels so vital.
It really does. So our mission for this deep dive is to understand exactly how Dr. Maya GPT is stepping in to change that story for these women in Karnataka.
Okay. So what is this AI actually doing? And how is it fostering this strength, this dignity?
Let's get into it.
Okay, so right at the heart of this, you've got the partnership.
Yeah.
Ashapath and the Karnataka State Unorganized Women Council.
Correct.
It's not just one group working alone. It feels like a very deliberate joint effort.
Yeah.
What makes that collaboration itself so significant, do you think?
Well, I think this partnership is really crucial. It brings together Ashapath's tech know-how, the AI side of things,
Innovation.
with the council's deep, on-the-ground understanding of the specific needs, the real challenges faced by unorganized women there.
So it's not tech for tech's sake.
Not at all. It suggests a very sort of grounded, community-first approach to actually using this technology where it's needed most effectively.
Okay, so let's really dig into that core issue then, the sheer weight of illiteracy.
Yeah.
It's so much more than just not knowing how to read letters on a page, right?
Oh, profoundly more. It impacts an individual's whole sense of self. The inability to engage with the written word, it can really erode self-esteem and limit participation in, well, pretty much all aspects of social and economic life. It creates this feeling of being on the outside looking in.
And that lack of access to information that has really concrete consequences day to day.
Absolutely. It restricts access to essential services, health information, government schemes.
Right.
It hinders the ability to advocate for yourself, for your family. It limits opportunities for growth, personal, professional.
The world just increasingly runs on written communication.
It does. And being excluded from that world creates these huge disadvantages.
So this is the landscape. This is where Dr. Maya GPT comes in. Can you paint a picture for us? What does this AI tool actually do?
Okay, so Dr. Maya GPT is an AI tool, and it's specifically designed to tackle these barriers, importantly, in the Canada language.
Okay.
One of its main functions, based on our sources, is its ability to read documents aloud in Canada.
Wow, okay, so instantly making written text accessible through audio.
Exactly. Think about that. Suddenly, any printed information isn't locked away just because you can't decode the text.
That alone feels like a game changer. Just pure access. What else can it do?
Well, crucially, it also helps people create documents in Canada.
Ah, okay, so it's not just passive consumption.
Not at all. This empowers individuals to actually express their own thoughts, their needs, their experiences in written form, something they simply couldn't do before.
That feels huge.
It is, and our material specifically highlights its role in helping people articulate difficult things like their pain or suffering in writing.
Which is so important for getting help, for seeking justice, maybe.
Absolutely. And it also aids in just general communication, allowing individuals to engage in written Canada, messages, forms, much like someone who is literate would.
Okay.
There's also this concept mentioned, intuitive learning.
Intuitive learning, what's that about?
It suggests that Dr. Maya GPT offers a more personalized learning experience. It seems to adapt to the individual's own pace, their own style of understanding.
Okay, so it avoids that kind of frustrating one-size-fits-all approach to learning.
That seems to be the idea, making it less intimidating, perhaps more effective.
So bringing these functions together, the reading aloud, the creating documents, the communication support, this intuitive learning, how do these actually translate into people gaining that strength and dignity we're talking about?
Okay, let's break it down. Start with the reading aloud function.
Yeah.
By just completely bypassing the barrier of decoding text, it provides immediate access to information, government notices, health advice, whatever it might be.
Right. Independence.
Exactly. It fosters independence, reduces that reliance on others. That directly contributes to a feeling of strength, of capability.
Makes total sense. Taking away that dependence is a massive step. What about being able to create documents? How does that build dignity?
This is where the voiceless really gain a voice.
Okay.
By enabling individuals to articulate their needs, their thoughts, their stories in writing, they gain agency, real agency.
They can speak for themselves.
Precisely. They can communicate directly, advocate for themselves, share their own perspectives without needing someone else to translate or interpret for them.
That act of self-expression, fundamental to dignity.
Absolutely fundamental.
And you mentioned the ability to express pain and suffering specifically in writing. Why is that singled out as so significant?
Being able to clearly and, importantly, privately communicate such personal and often traumatic experiences, it's vital.
Yeah.
Vital for seeking help, for accessing mental health resources perhaps, for being properly understood by support systems or even authorities.
It validates their experience.
It does, and it empowers them to seek help or maybe even redress in ways that might have felt completely impossible before.
And just communicate more broadly in written Canada. How does that piece fit into building dignity?
Well, think about social inclusion. Illiteracy often carries a stigma, right?
Mm-hmm.
So being able to participate in community messaging, maybe on a WhatsApp group, communicate with local services, or even just send a simple text message independently.
Everyday things.
Everyday things. But they contribute massively to a sense of belonging, of being part of the conversation, of self-respect. It reduces that isolation we talked about.
Okay, so it really is all interconnected then. Gaining these skills, access to info, having a voice, expressing needs, communicating on your own terms, it creates this kind of positive feedback loop that builds confidence over time.
Exactly right. As individuals start mastering these skills using Dr. Maya GPT, their self-esteem grows.
Yeah.
And that personalized aspect, the intuitive learning, probably plays a big role there too.
How so?
By making the learning process feel less like a chore, less intimidating, more tailored, it likely boosts their sense of achievement, makes them feel capable. That enhances dignity directly.
And we actually have a really powerful example of this from the sources, don't we? The story of Maria.
Yes, Maria's story really brings all of this to life.
Can you tell us a bit about her experience?
So Maria participated in one of these programs using Dr. Maya GPT. She'd always felt, held back, embarrassed even by not being able to read.
Understandable.
Through using this AI tutor, she didn't just learn the mechanics of reading, she actually discovered she had a love for storytelling.
Wow, that's incredible. From struggling to read to becoming a storyteller.
It really is something. The sources say she started writing her own short stories.
No way.
Yes. And sharing them with others in the program. Imagine the confidence boost from that.
Huge. And the connection with others, too.
Absolutely. It fostered connection. It inspired other learners. And for Maria herself, this newfound ability, it opened up thoughts of further education, possibilities she'd never considered. It gave her a completely new sense of self.
That's such a clear demonstration. It's not just about the skill. It's about the transformation in self-perception, social interaction.
Exactly. The strength and dignity becoming real.
Amazing. Thinking a bit broader now, beyond just this specific project, what's the wider significance of using AI in this way?
Well, I think it really highlights the potential of AI to tackle fundamental societal inequalities. This isn't about the flashiest AI applications we often hear about.
Right, not self-driving cars or complex data analysis.
No. This is about using intelligent tools to empower marginalized communities with basic, essential skills. skills that can dramatically improve their lives and, importantly, their standing within society.
So it's kind of like leveraging tech to level the playing field,
Yeah,
but in a really fundamental human way.
precisely. It demonstrates how AI can be a powerful force for social good if, and it's an important if it's directed towards addressing these core human needs and empowering individuals.
Yeah, the focus matters.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing that stood out to me from the sources was the emphasis on community support working alongside Dr. Maya GPT. How important is that human element?
Oh, it's vital. Absolutely vital. Dr. Maya GPT is the tool, the enabler.
Right.
But the support networks, whether that's from Ashapath staff, the Women's Council, or just peer support within the learning groups themselves, that provides the encouragement, the motivation.
A sense of belonging.
Exactly. A sense of belonging, shared experience. That human connection reinforces the learning, helps people overcome hurdles, builds resilience. Technology alone often isn't enough for this kind of deep change.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
The tech is powerful, but it's the human connection that really nurtures that growth, that empowerment.
Couldn't agree more.
So, okay, let's try and bring this all together. It seems crystal clear that this collaboration between Ashapath and the Karnataka State Unorganized Women Council,
Yes.
powered by Dr. Maya GPT, is making a really profound, tangible impact.
Definitely. By enabling these individuals to read, to create, to express themselves, and just to communicate effectively in Canada, it's unlocking a world of possibilities for them.
And the result, as we've discussed, it goes way beyond just literacy skills.
So much more. It's about that strength, that dignity, that agency that these individuals are reclaiming or maybe finding for the first time.
Allowing them to participate more fully, more confidently in their communities, in their own lives.
Yes, it truly is empowering.
It really leaves you thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It really prompts us to consider, where else? Where else could we strategically apply technology like this, not for profit or novelty, but to genuinely empower those who are most vulnerable?
How can we use these tools to bridge the really deep gaps in our society?
A powerful thought to mull over.
Absolutely. It underscores how important it is to ensure that all these amazing technological advancements we're seeing actually lead to a more equitable, a more inclusive world for everyone, not just the privileged few.
Well said.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with me today.
My pleasure. Fascinating topic.